terrible audio quality. Hopefully quality is better than last time. All right, here. I actually recorded this video while driving a car. However, it sounded so shit that I decided to re-record it. This video is pretty much going to be about the corny black male epidemic. Well, it's not really an epidemic when you think about it. It's kind of a great thing, being a corny black man. But yeah. So I was driving in my car the other day and I thought about it, right? Well, not the other day, but several weeks ago, right? I was thinking about it, man. Yo, corny black men are sort of OP. What do I mean by this? Nah, cause think about it. So think about it. Now, you go back in the day, whatever, right? Being a corny black male back in the day. Now, I'm gonna define this as this is a subset from when Michael B. Jordan was called corny by an old classmate. You know, he was on a set of Creed 3, cool movie by the way. And the chick was like, "Oh, yo, we go way back, whatever." Michael B. Jordan was like, "Oh yeah, I was, you remember me, the corny kid, right?" And she was, she was trying to say, "No, I didn't mean it like that," trying to brush it off and all that, right? However, we all know what she meant. This is a telltale case of, a black man that became successful. Now, Michael B. Jordan, right? It's crazy because he's pretty much the quintessential black nerd who had a glow up. This man obviously watches anime. He's a big fan of that shit. His Black Panther suit was mimicked after the Frieza, the Saiyan saga arc, the Saiyan armor actually, right? That's what his armor was pretty much modeled after. And interestingly enough, you go on Twitter, you type his name in, followed by what women think about him. You get a lot of course, hearts and flowers about him, like they're happy about him. However, I remember coming across this one subset on Twitter. I don't have a Twitter account. I just know this shit because I listen to podcasts. And they were talking about how he doesn't have an edge to him. Like he can play a pretty good bad guy. He was awesome in Black Panther. He's a pretty straight edge dude. Upstanding gentleman. Definitely pays his taxes on time. However, the woman felt as if he was too responsible, which was bizarre as fuck if you think about it. But growing up in the hood, bro, if you grew up, you got straight A's, you busted your ass, participate in these extracurricular activities that are pretty much, I guess you could say nerd centric, you got cooked. Oh nah, man, if you were a fan of anime on top of that, they got you. You were cooked. They better not be catching you playing Yu-Gi-Oh in the middle of the recess. You would get fucking destroyed and decimated. Oh man, bro. Being a black nerd pre-2014 era, man, whew, golly, dog, you would get destroyed, brutalized. You were cooked, and I mean cooked. And speaking as a corny black man myself, a black nerd, yo, you get decimated. They figured out that you like anime, bro. That is your ass. One, you're enunciating your words. You're not slurring a bit. You're not speaking any Ebonics. Two, you're getting straight A's on every single goddamn assignment, whatever. Three, right? You're not participating in any gang activity or any run-of-the-muck hood booger activity, and you're also an anime fan. You're a nerd. Homie, you would have got cooked. Now, Michael B. Jordan suffers from what I like to call a black nerd who glue up. Like, he had a glow up. Now, black men are OP when you think about it, because you can have the Tyrone aesthetic, which Michael B. Jordan has the Tyrone aesthetic. Let's be real here. Roughly 6 feet tall, over 200 pounds of solid muscle. He's got the aesthetic of Tyrone. However, the way he speaks and carries himself, it's like Clarence. The 8 Mile Clarence. Or, what's that dude from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Carlton. Yeah, Carlton. It's like he's got the Carlton demeanor and a Tyrone archetype body. It's the best of both worlds, actually, because you can attract a certain kind of person in that fashion. And unfortunately, you attract a lot of people because visually you're aesthetic, of course, right? Visually, that's what it all comes down to initially, which might seem very superficial. However, that's how we attract people as humans. We have an appearance that draws others towards us, and Michael B. Jordan has that appearance, and he's also charismatic as well. However, a guy as charismatic and attractive is having trouble with dating. Why is that? Then I got to thinking, yeah, he's a corny black man. He's a corny black man. What I mean by this is responsible as fuck, pays his bills on time. I don't even think this guy goes out to bars and clubs. Like, he probably doesn't even do any of that. He probably just stays in the house all day. I stay in the house all day. but you're not gonna attract, you know, the hoochie mamas. You're not gonna attract Tatanisha with that attitude. You know, Tatanisha wants to be, you know, fucking lit. You know, Bianca and Shaniqua, they want to fucking party around and jump around the fence all the time. You know, it's not all women of that archetype or that demographic, but you get the drift. He doesn't attract these kinds of women. He doesn't make their, you know, he doesn't tickle their pickle, essentially. And the corny black, you know, like the black nerd, yo, it's a cheat code, because not only are you aesthetically pleasing to look at, right, or aesthetically pleasing to the eye, right, you're also very, very responsible. You're very well put together in your career, your finances, presumably your aspirations, and where you want to see yourself in the next 10 or 4 years, right? And you have a ladder, you have a vision, you have somewhere you want to go. And now, this isn't to say become aesthetically pleasing for other people. No, do this shit for yourself. I'm a bodybuilder myself. I love training. I bust my ass in the gym every single day, when not every day, 6 days a week, almost every day. And I have fun while doing it. And I put inspiration in the hearts of others, which is a plus. It's a bonus. That's a motivator. That motivates me to keep going as well, right? You know, besides from my own internal motivation. But back to the topic at hand. You have Michael B. Jordan, guys like Carlton. You know, you have guys like, you know, Steve Urkel. I forgot the actor's name. But yeah, these are corny black men. These are what the women would describe as corny. You know, they're corny black dudes. And it's very telling in the kind of women they date, because they don't typically date black women. Now, there's a big reason behind this. I have a suspicion, as you know, my suspicion is that the culture, they don't attract the traditionally conventionally attractive black women in the hood, who are kind of like, you know, I mean, you know what I mean. They're super ratchet, very loud, very feisty, very, you know, they have a certain energy where you're like, man, this chick is gonna fucking, yo, bro, she will make my life a living hell if I go around her for more than 10 seconds. You know what I'm talking about, bro. If you were a brother dating, like, you know, trying to date or trying to holler at a chick in the hood, bro, and you had, man, bro, you better come up with Black Air Force activity energy, man. You better have that Black Air Force energy and just come at them, whatever, the same way. You gotta be twice as aggressive as they are. It's like a weird ass game, bro. You gotta keep playing with them. And who the fuck wants to deal with all that shit? That shit sounds like a damn headache, man. Like, that's a goddamn headache thinking about it. Like, yo, I couldn't deal with that shit back in the day, man. You know, freaking 10 years ago, man, yo, I was already cooked. I was like, man, I can't do this shit, bro. This shit's fucking hard. And that could play a major part in why Michael B. Jordan is struggling with dating. That's a major part. He's too, you know, responsible. And women kind of, I guess, the certain women he's trying to attract want this sort of like edge to him. It also doesn't help that you're a millionaire. You're a B-list actor. You went from a C-list actor to a B-list actor. Your name is well known now. People know you as Creed, you know, Baby Creed, Black Panther, you know, Killmonger. They know you as these characters. And there's a higher chance, a statistical probability, you're not going to find someone who's genuine around you. But we see this shit in the hood too. We see the regular black guy who's just paying, you know, like the regular kid in high school, right? He's just getting good grades, studying his ass off. Just a regular dude, man. Like you could be like a regular guy, or whatever, right? But you don't have that aesthetic yet because you haven't finished puberty. So you're stuck in this awkward phase where you have pimples, you got zits, you got, you know, you got acne, glasses. You gotta fix that shit somehow. And in the end, you finally fix it. Hopefully, you fix it by senior year. But then the memories stay. Like you're an ugly duckling in a sense. Like you're always gonna perceive yourself as an ugly duckling. You even get shocked. Like you get shocked when women look at you. Like you're like, what the fuck, bro? Like, man, I was like, in your head, you still picture that nerd that you were 10 years ago, and it's shocking. And in my humble opinion, Michael B. Jordan perceived himself in that fashion. Like he's the same kid. And that's not to say that he hates himself, or that he simply just views himself as something who's, you know, inferior to the likes of other people. Nah, he's just a humble kid. Like he's that same kid that came from Newark, It's ironic, you know, me and him came from the same goddamn place. It's freaking weird. It's, you know, small world, I guess, but you're from Newark. You're that one kid that everybody like pretty much picks on because he had his headshots. Yeah, they call him Corny because he had his headshots in. He'll show his headshots. He says have his stuff ready for potential people wanting to work with him. He's an aspiring actor, of course. You have to have your headshots, but people, it's crazy. They call that corny. Now nowadays, what the kids call it is you're being a tryhard. And you know, my generation, you know, Gen Z, they say, "Oh, you're being a fucking tryhard, bro." You like, it's crazy. Like I had friends where I was like, man, I need to get an A on this assignment or else, and they would call me a tryhard because I'm trying to get an A. And this was back in our community college days. I'm not gonna say where I went to college, but this is back in our college days. I would be the guy who would be up studying, try and get A's, and they're like, "Oh, you're a fucking tryhard, dude." And it's like, I mean, this is kind of your life, dude. You came in, you majored in something that's presumably very that has a decent salary at best, you know, at least 50K. That's what we're pushing for in today's inflationary economy, which probably might as well be freaking token pickup money and meaningless, but you get the drift. But you're doing that to have a better future, and most people who are short-sighted don't really see that, you know. And the women who pretty much curved MBJ, right, they didn't see that shit, and they didn't see his vision. And now he's having, like, he's struggling with dating and this entire thing, whatever. We're not gonna go around my love life, but I will recount of certain experiences I've had with these particular kind of women in the hood, and that shit wasn't pretty, dude. That shit really takes a blow your confidence, man. It fucks you up. It fucks your head up because, you know, now that you're an adult and you look at them, right, you're like, man, I went through some shit. However, it really shaped your psychology. You view humans in a different light, and it can either make or break you. Like all that suffering that you went through, all that ridicule, either you're a stronger person afterwards or you just completely like flatline and you're completely broken. You have no pieces to pick up. It's almost never in the middle. Like you never find a guy who got extremely bullied and didn't have either an overwhelming personality that attracted others or just divulging into a recluse who just keeps to himself and doesn't even grow anymore. Which hopefully you become the one who grows, who learns from the overall pain and struggle that ridicule and ostracization gave to you. Which is, it's crazy because I sort of became that example, you know, completely by accident in a way, because I gravitated towards the difficult and I didn't stray from it. I got into fitness. You know, I was, you know, my father was my first inspiration for bodybuilding, of course, and you know, my dad trying to beat him in arm wrestling, and then it was Dragon Ball Z. Those guys look aesthetic as fuck, and then it was, you know, wrestling. You know, John Cena, in my own opinion, the greatest wrestler of all time in my generation. I don't care what no one says. Fuck the smarks, screw these people. But yeah, those three motivators, I gravitated towards fitness, and I saw it as a quest. I need to conquer this thing. I was also insecure about my body, and I didn't want to rely on the mind because, yes, it's awesome to have a sharp mind and be great with the books, be excellent with your craft, be excellent at craftsmanship. You know, I was an artist as well. You know, I'm drawing right now, of course, but yeah, you get the picture. But physicality, I lacked the physicality, and I wanted the physicality a lot. And so I trained extensively. Got a pretty decent physique, I should say. It's all right. Could be better, but that, as a corny black man, right, it's a cheat code because you're not someone who goes out drinking, partying, and fucking your life up. You take care of your health a lot, and you're also responsible. And hopefully you self-actualize, you find a passion or purpose that is outside of the validation and approval of others. And yeah, like you're not a thug. You're not part of the population, the percentage of black males that get incarcerated and commit these heinous crimes and deplorable acts of violence against your fellow kin as a means of gaining validation from some big homie or from some gang lord who you must appease. No, you're more than that. You acknowledge that that shit's ridiculous as fuck. Gangbanging is freaking ridiculous and borderline insane. Because it's like you have an entire generation of gangbangers who, when have you ever heard a gangbanger who was successful? Like in regards to having like a high level of ethics. That doesn't happen this day and age. they end up dead at a certain age. And are you really gonna be 40 years old, big gang banging? You know, when your body is starting to deteriorate because you presumably led a terrible lifestyle of you know, debauchery and consumption, and now you're just slowly going down this rabbit hole of failure, which you pretty much you're at the peak of failure now. You can't recover from it anymore, and that's where you are. Like, so this whole corny black man thing, right? You want to be a corny black man, bro. Like, if you grow up black in the hood, right? It's actually a cheat code, man. It's the best thing you can do for yourself, man. Think about it. Your credit score is pretty much going to be up. You're going to have a nice credit score. You're presumably going to be great with your finances, of course. You're going to have a nice job. You're going to have a level of skill that other people don't have. Your hireability is going to be up. A lot of companies are going to want to hire you, essentially, if you're like, you have your degree, if you have even a tradesman, if you're a corny black man tradesman, a tradesman, you know, like you're someone who works in the trades. That's awesome too. I mean, it might not impress Shaniqua, but it sure as hell might impress a woman of another race. Not to say that like all black women are like that, but it's very telling that these athletes, you know, black athletes and all these celebrities, they go after these different races of women. It's because, yeah, like from a commonality sort of thing standpoint, they select women outside their race who desire them. And that's kind of what you have to do if you want to, like, not die alone, which dying alone isn't a bad thing, but yeah, I mean, not to say that all black women are like that. You can find black women who are very articulate in the way they speak. They have proper temperament. You could find them. They're out there. However, like us, like the corny black men, they're in the house all day. So we never meet each other. Like, you know, it's like that one Instagram post or TikTok when this chick's like, you know, replying to the whole statement of where are all the girls who watch anime and stay in the house all day, right? The black girls, right? They're in the home like you are. They don't go nowhere. They're like us. We don't go anywhere. So we're just like chilling in our homes, not meeting each other. And this current climate of dating, like, you're not gonna find anybody in that fashion. Hell, I mean, you won't find anybody anyway, but that's just how the cookie crumbles, my dude. But being a corny black man is a good thing. It's an awesome thing. It's overpowered. You find something that's regards to physicality. You take care of your physical, your physicality, your physical appearance, your internal well-being as well. You strip toxins from your body. You don't consume as much I guess you say feel good. You know, feel good drugs the other person does. You know, like, you don't drink, you don't smoke. You go to bed at a certain time, same time. You wake up with your pants on one leg at a time. You go to work, make your money, and go home. That's pretty much what. And it sounds boring to people, but if you have passions outside of that, you'll be more than just a guy who's a cog in a machine. You'll be more than that. Like, you'll be more than a black man who's a cog in the machine. Like, you'll be more than that. You'll be someone who's actually worth being around, in a sense. Which, not to say don't live for other people, live for yourself, of course. You know. How much time do I have left? Because I don't have a single bit of idea to spew out anymore. It's probably long. Oh, it's like 19 minutes long right now. It's not too bad. Still got enough time to talk about more things. But yeah, being a corny black man is a great thing. It's excellent. Take care of your finances. Take care of your health. Fitness is important, of course. Stay out of trouble. And hopefully you make a meaningful life out of yourself by not appeasing others or joining the crowd. That's the other thing. Like, you're man, bro. I remember this one friend I had, right? He was the complete opposite of how you would picture a black man in America. This was back, oh man, it was awful. It was 2010, right? Freshman year of high school. They would bully him, like, he loved punk rock and roll music. He had his hair brushed a certain way. His haircut was a certain way, like, he dressed a certain way. And this is why we had uniforms, by the way, and he still found a way to express himself, right? Which he expressed himself as different. He spoke very differently as well. Like he enunciated his words. He never had ebonics. He never sweared. He was just like a regular dude, right? And the amount of heckling he would receive was just super unwarranted. It's like, yo, this guy's just vibing, minding his business. Here you are, just like talking shit about him, making fun of the way he speaks, and saying you talk white. What the fuck kind of statement is that? That's weird as shit. You talk white, but he'll get that shit, and I'm sitting there like, yo, this is kind of weird, guys. It's strange. And to no surprise, he was a very smart kid, and he was an artist like I was, so I gravitated towards him several times. You know, well, I gravitated towards him because of that reason. He was an artist, and he was different. Like I was different, so we pretty much just hung out, whatever, right? And you know, like I knew him. I knew this guy since middle school. You know, awesome guy, very talented artist. I wonder how he's doing now. Hopefully, he's doing well now. But yeah, the amount of bullying he received for being different was insane. It was wild. Like, holy shit, dude. Man, bro, the black community failed that man, dude. Like, they really failed him hard. But he's probably doing better now because I can't imagine him missing any payments. You know, I can't imagine him doing a bunch of drugs. I don't do a bunch of drugs. That's a waste of time. You know, alcohol is fucking disgusting. You know, weed is just, it smells like shit, and it lowers your inhibition. It makes you woozy and drowsy, and your inhibitions completely go down, and your willpower decreases exponentially. You're not even a person who wants to have a drive towards doing anything if you smoke weed a lot. Stoners, I never met a stoner who was like actually productive. They have the munchies, they eat a bunch of food, and they just sleep all day. That's all they do. They just exist for bodily and mechanical functions. A corny black man will never do that. It's like what's your leisure activity, whatever? What's your consumption-based activity, whatever? Watching My Hero Academia or Soul Leveling or Attack on Titan? You're binge watching One Piece all day. That's the only thing that we can fall victim to, and it doesn't have that much of a negative impact on our lives as much as, you know, narcotics and drugs do. But it will get you ostracized though, because you're not the same. You're not what they picture you should be. You're not living your life as what they should think you live your life as. You know, like you're going against the grain essentially. And being a corny black man, in my opinion, it's an OP. It's a cheat code. Because you can take this shit, right? Like you can take this disposition you have towards being prim and proper and use it to your advantage. You can take care of your body, take care of your health, your skin, your spirituality, your well-being, your finances are in check, and you'll pretty much just be the ultimate package, man. Like you'll be someone who's complete, a complete man essentially. The corny black man is essentially a complete man, and I will gladly unironically embrace the label corny black man because that shit is just, one, it's funny, right? Two, it shows as if, you know, these insults are just remedial and meaningless, right? Three, can you imagine that shit on a fucking t-shirt or whatever? It's like they ask you, what the fuck do you mean by that? And you give them an explanation, which not anybody wants an explanation. It's going to be kind of boring, this philosophical explanation. Just give them a run-of-the-mill funny joke, and that's pretty much it. It's going to be a great conversation starter, I imagine. Yeah. How much time do I got left? I got nothing else to say, guys. Peace out, dudes.